You're alive! When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, a phone, maybe. I hope you don't mind. But all I found was some loose change. So, one. Well, it's nice to meet you. And I'm sorry to pry, but any idea why you were floating down the river? What's the last thing you remember? Oh, you're an archaeologist? Then I don't know if it's exactly what you're looking for. There are some ruins just behind you. Roman, I think. I need you to... He went in there a few hours ago, and he hasn't come out. I've been freaking out, wondering if he's... I would have gone in after him, but he made me promise to stay here. There's no way I'm leaving without him. So I'm just What I mean is, I was hoping... If you can do that, I can get both of you back to civilization. Oh, of course. Oh, there's not much to tell. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job. Oh, I'd rather not. All right, fine. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I you're welcome. Always happy to help. He's the guy who washed up on the riverbank not long before you did. I thought maybe the two of you can piece together. In any case, you'll like him, I'm sure. You really don't remember? We're in... Not much, really. But imagine what you might find in there. What am I, an idiot? You could hike a long, long way in any direction and never find another soul. Great. My hero. Oh, and he left this here. But I think you'll need it more than I will. Back already? Oh. What? Great. Thanks again.
If you're reading this, it means I've discovered the entrance to an ancient Roman city hidden deep underground. Its existence is long forgotten, all knowledge of it lost, except in the Latin inscription here. It reads, "You who wish to enter the city, step forth and be judged. The virtuous shall be rewarded with eternal life in paradise. The wicked shall find themselves showered in gold, but in vain. For this shall be their final resting place." Could an underground city have remained a secret for all this time? Could people have survived down there, against the odds? It seems there's only one way to find out. If I'm not back in an hour, I'm somewhere on the other side. Consider this an invitation, or a warning. Al Worth. To whoever reads this, I'm sorry you had to find me like this. And worse, that you'll suffer the same fate I did. I've spent a lifetime in this place, going around and around in circles, searching for a way out. The inscription was right. There is no way back. In here, there are only two options: death, or that godforsaken doorway into the past. I made the mistake of stepping through it. I wanted to set things right, and I tried. I really tried. Whatever I did, it took me right back to the beginning. Don't make the same mistake. Better to end it all now. And find out what awaits you beyond that portal.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina? No idea what you're talking about. Oh, wait. Are you a bit, not right in the head? That's all right. We sort of lose. It's 817 AUC. Sorry, you look confused. 817 years since the founding of Rome. CE? No idea what you're talking about. But listen, most folks seem a bit confused when they get... You seem very lost, and in more ways than one. So, live by our law here, and we'll... Not laws, law. There's just one, the Golden Rule, and the punishment... It's kind of horrific. But our magistrate insists we take all newcomers to see him, so I guess I'll let him fill you in. So... Follow me. When I first arrived, I couldn't believe there were people living down here. But, as you can see, we've got a nice little community now. Only 23 of us at the moment, if you count the 3 who are missing. No idea how, since nobody knows a way out. But it's just big and dark enough to get lost in, if you're not careful.
Aren't you going to introduce me to your handsome new friend, Galerius?
Keep it in your loincloth, Aurelia. I'm taking him to see the magistrate.
That pompous old bore won't be magistrate for much longer. Anyone who helps vote him out today drinks at my bar for free tonight.
Politics. I'd stay clear of it and her, if I were you. She's... it's not my place to say. Down on your right is our farm, where I grow all the food you'll ever want. As long as all you want is leek, cabbage, and wheat. Huh. That one usually gets a chuckle.
The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone.
Don't mind Livia. She means well. She's just been in a bad place since... Well, I don't know what happened to her. Up here on your right is the chasm. If you've got a weapon, it belongs way down at the bottom. Up on your left is the forum, where you can visit the market or get yourself patched up in Lucretia's clinic in the Shrine of Apollo. Most of us have almost nothing, just what we had on us when we arrived, and what we've been able to make and scrounge up since. And this central plateau is where the magistrate and the other patricians live, so don't expect a warm welcome.
Galerius, You're meant to be working the farm, not trudging dirt into the villas.
Take it easy, Horatius. I was just taking our new friend here to see the magistrate.
Well, he's asked me to escort the newcomer personally. The farm. Go. Now.
You'd better go with him. But just remember, they're not like you and me. Don't let them use you.
What was that? What did you just say?
I said it'll take some getting used to.
Yeah, I'm watching you, farm boy. Greetings, citizen. My name's Horatius. Magistrate Sentius asked me to escort... I expect the magistrate wants... It shouldn't take too long. He's busy preparing for the election late. Follow me. The only thing you really need to understand right now is the Golden Rule. Let me see if I can explain it this way. When I was serving in the Legion, if there was a mutiny brewing in one cohort, the legate in charge wouldn't waste time finding the bad apples among hundreds. They just divided us into groups of 10, made us draw straws, and whoever drew the short straw had to be executed by the other 9. Didn't matter whether he'd done anything wrong. One of us in 10 would die for the crimes of the
Whatever are you
collective.
wearing?
We call it decimation.
Oh, I wish Horatius
seems
would
like
stop
rough
letting
justice to you.
barbarians in here.
You're in for a rude shock. Because
Ugh,
the Golden
what
Rule
is it with you people?
exactly
You
10
heard the
times
rumor
worse.
that my little
The
sister
magistrate can
escaped
explain
and
the rest.
figure out. Well, that's
He's
just
up
a
these stairs.
stupid rumor. I don't know. Can you? Can you tell me how a person could have disappeared from a city with no exits and no crime? Was she... It was 3 weeks ago. We ate our evening meal together and we went into our rooms. I went to sleep. And when I woke up... I think so, yes. But she was very careful about keeping his identity because our father had plans to marry her off, eventually, and even a root. I don't know. All I know is who. You really aren't from here, are you? All Roman women are named after their fathers. I think it's their way of branding us. Like, his family name is Sentius, so I'm Sentia because I'm the eldest. And my little sister is formerly Sentia Minor, but she's... Why? Because I'm on this couch and not pacing? I hope you're not insinuating I'm somehow... Ugh, you're awful. Get out of my villa and... That's my room. Leave before I call Horatius.
We're finally alone. I assume you already know. A curious name. We're always happy to welcome another scholar to our little Now, you're probably wondering why I summoned you, and I'll get to that. A secret city built deep in the mountains. Indeed. More 22 complete strangers brought together by the fates. And in all that time, not a single sin has been committed. No fights, no theft. Nor could I. But the reason for this, if even one person, you see, the builders of this place, whoever they were, left inscriptions warning, from what we can gather, breaking the law and provoke a terrible punishment. like the curses of Medusa and Midas combined. It's extraordinary that we've survived as long as we have, and each day I grow more and more afraid. And now it's all that matters is that somebody in this city is about to break the Golden Rule. Unless you and I can stop them, I know that's a lot to take in, and you look like you have questions. An intelligent question. There was a good deal of debate about that in our first weeks here. Does it refer to crimes or to some... Of course, everyone agrees on the basics. No theft, no assault, and certainly no murder. But beyond that, it was more difficult to reach a consensus. What about lying, insulting someone, blasphemy, trespass, trying to escape, bribery? As magistrate, I had to exercise leadership, and so I made a decision. We must uphold the laws of the Empire, and we must honor the peace of the gods, the sacred accord between the gods and the people. It is only by offering the gods the proper respect. Barbaric? Barbaric? What are you talking about? The Empire? Rome is a beacon of light in the darkness. For 800 years we have comprehensive laws protecting the rights of our citizens, which have unified all our citizens are treated the same, regardless of the color of their skin or their sex. When our people are starving, they are given food rations, and when they are wronged, they have the right. Our laws forbid treason, murder, assault, and rape, as well as theft and arson, and so on. No other civilization in the world is so advanced, and you have the Of course, what else would we do with those prisoners of war who would otherwise have been executed? And besides, there are laws on occasion, but our gladiators are almost all volunteers seeking glory, or condemned prisoners who would have been executed anyway. I do not see... Of course, but with fewer rights come fewer responsibilities, and the right to be protected by their father. You mean the blasphemous cult responsible for burning down half of Rome last year? It's hard to blame the people for being angry. Are you talking about our practice of decimation? Of course. We could hardly unite all... Well, right now, I have made my pronouncement. Unfortunately, there are still those here who resist. Whisper, You see, in my search for a way to save my people, I learned of an ancient ritual. It's said to open a doorway in time, so that if the unthinkable happens, one person can pass through it and travel back to the past. And when I saw you arrive in a flash of light from the goddess's shrine, I knew that 2,000 years? Please, tell me, in your time, what did... I have imagined it, our downfall, 1,000 times. All I can tell you is that it's a I have to recite a prayer, and of course, as with all rituals, in this case, I don't suppose you saw any sign of me? I assume that was me. If I'm forced to perform the ritual, it's going to cost me everything. Well, thank you for your... Well, I believe you're in the best position to go around asking people questions. As for me, well, it pains me to say my attempts to impose order have not earned me many friends. I fear the people here would only treat my curiosity with suspicion. You shouldn't have that problem, though. And do you ever stare at a problem for so long that you can't see? What's needed here is a fresh pair of eyes. Me? Why would you suspect me? I've just told you. I'm about to sacrifice my own life. What reason could you possibly have to suspect? I'm glad. Ah, so you know about... That was over 3 weeks ago, and whatever happened to her, it didn't break the golden rule. Still, if you happen to find her and return her to me... Well, all right. There are those who wish to vote me. Frankly, their selfishness and recklessness risk If I understand Prosperna's ritual correctly, that problem should take care of it. If you manage to prevent the sin that breaks the golden rule, I won't need to bring you here. I won't create the portal, and you will never have been able to come here. Thus, you'll have created a paradox. If this occurs, you should be flung back to your own time, having changed the past. No, I don't suppose you do. But... wonderful. I authorize you to enter private homes and inspect possessions and documents, unless, of course, figure out who the culprit is, and as soon as you have a name, come back and tell me immediately. Oh, I heard wailing from there not long ago. Seems like something's not right.
Whatever are you wearing?
Sextus Sentius. Before I wound up here, it's a cavalry officer. As magistrate, my men. Now that they were trying, the next thing I knew, I went looking. I was elected. They're supposed to be at. Unfortunately, it. Very. Thank. Are they?
Keep an eye out for Scintilla, would you? I'm a legionary of the first. I act as the magistrate's right. I also... I'm from... Not anymore. My commander sent me to... That's when the crowd... Then blacked out. Ah, don't be. As Seneca the Younger said, difficulty strengthen the mind, as labor does... That said... He's one of the best. Treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Can't ask for much. I went around to bed. I don't see why not. Of course. Well, as I always say, by threatening to execute 1 in 10 men, the idea is to ensure order and discipline among everyone. If you knew you could be executed because your brother-in-arms is planning a mutiny, well, you'd bloody well watch him like 100 because your only chance of saving is... It's brutal, of course. What's done is done, as with the... War crime. Isn't that a contradiction in terms? As Cicero said, in times of war the law falls silent. Seems that way. Not that it's any of your business, but my loyal... Unfortunately, I don't think my vote is going to... See, Domitius has been going around town, shoring up votes. The man Sentius knows about it, of course. This place will be different with that. I appreciate the thought, in any case. All right?
What we... Don't play dumb. I saw you. What's he offering you? Money? Favour? A spit of a fauna career. We've lined up all the votes we need already. Mark my words, Malleolus is going to be magistrate by the end of the day. You've been trying to undermine his hard-won victory. You... Oh, you just made a big mistake. Malleolus is going to hear all about this. Sturcum had...
Keep an eye out for Scintilla, would you?
Isn't the great temple majestic? A new face. Ave, and may Vesta watch over you. I'm Equitia. Oh my. I take it people are quite... I suppose it's quite charming. Usually, however, you wouldn't simply march up to a Vestal priestess and without due formality or courtesy The proper approach would be to arrange an introduction through a mutual acquaintance in high office, by which time, and then you would find a way to satisfy your curiosity. But to be honest, I've often thought what an unnecessarily... Let's do it your way. You just keep being yourself and... You know, I'm not entirely sure. But what about you? Karen, you say? And nothing about that name seemed... Why is that? The memes? What are the memes? So, a bit like Egyptian hieroglyphs then? So your people make hieroglyphics depicting this accursed character, the one they call Karen. I wonder if... I apologize. I don't mean to be cryptic. Have you spoken with any of the others about how they... I really think you should. Go around and ask them what they remember, and see if you notice... I know. I just don't want to see what happened to Livia happen to you, too. Up until a few weeks ago, she was a perfectly productive member of our little community, darning clothes and cutting hair. She was always so chatty, always seeking out newcomers and asking them where they were from and how they wound up here. And then, about a month ago, she withdrew, stopped working and became despondent, started muttering to herself. Galerius and I visited her, but she just looked at us with this haunted stare, called us bloodless shadows, and told us we were ignorant of some... Look, it could be unrelated. Perhaps she simply fell ill. Or, as Galerius suggested, the weight of the Golden Rule was too... But there is a small chance that she learned something, saw a pattern nobody else saw, and that... I just don't want to see that happen. Thank you. Now, go and follow the thread of truth through this labyrinth. I don't, I'm afraid. I'm quite sure it's... We asked for but here, it seems they I find myself reminded of an especially pertinent tale from our great poet Ovid in his Would you like to hear? Wonderful. It goes like this. Baucis and Philemon were an old married couple living a humble life in a small town. One night, the town gets a visit from a couple. They go from door to door, asking for a place to stay the night. Of course, being vagrants, until finally they come to the little cottage where Baucis and Philemon lived. Now the kind old couple had very little to offer. They invite these strangers into their house and offer them food, wine, and a place to stay. Immediately, they begin gulping down the old couple's wine, so much so that Baucis, the old lady, begins to worry they're going to run. And then she notices something strange. Her wine pitcher keeps refilling itself, as if by magic. Realizing only a select few possess such power, says to her husband, Philemon, "I think these men are gods in disguise." Immediately the couple and the vagrants metamorphosize and reveal themselves to be Jupiter, the king of the gods, and Mercury, They confide they didn't mind the meager offerings. They were just pleased that someone in the town offered them hospitality. Then Jupiter, "You have passed our test, but everyone else in this city failed, so we are going to destroy this place and everyone in it." So old Baucis and Philemon escape up into the mountains safely, and they receive their wish, which is for eternity. Meanwhile, Jupiter carries through with his threat and wipes that city. But I like to think it's that we should always show... A cynic philosopher might take that view, but it's not in... It must be completed by dusk. It'll be between Why do you... All of the male citizens who are willing and able to attend, unless they're running, of course. That's just the... There are some women who can vote. I can't allow the perception that I'm being anything but fair and... But if it's any consolation, there are other ways. By using whatever gifts the gods gave. I'm responsible for You can, assuming they're eligible and willing to accept the nomination. As I said, I'm planning... Yes, very well. Citizens, it is time. Let us meet to elect our magistrate.
Election starting.
Give me a... She was... And that'll be 1,000. Then anywhere. So enough. Will get me that? I don't care. I saw. Well...
Help! You have to do something! A man arrived in the baths. A real nasty sort, with his face all covered up. And he's got a weapon. You have to do something, or he's gonna break the golden rule. Fabia, but now's not the time. Are you going to help or not? I have... Hear what? What? The shrine is collapsing!
Stop right there. I'm looking for Tiberius Quinctius Crispus, otherwise known as Quinctius. Do you know where he is? I'm not sure I believe that, so allow me to explain something to you. I am here with orders from Emperor Nero himself to find and execute the cultist Quinctius for terrible crimes against the Empire. So, if you tell me the truth, I will allow you to live. But if you lie to me or otherwise obstruct the Emperor's business in any way, I will put this arrow through your chest. Is that understood? You are not off to a good start. When I ask you a question, I expect... Thank you. Now tell me, who are you people? And what is this... A small community. Ha! I was told Quinctius was a cultist, but I never thought he'd be foolish enough to lead me right to the heart of his mystery. Oh, don't play coy with me. I don't care if you're worshipping Bacchus, Magna Mater, or Christ. You lot are all the same to me. Always sneaking off to your secret sanctuaries, indoctrinating each other with your little mantras. The Emperor may have tolerated your activities up until now, but after what Quinctius did, those days are numbered. You say that, but if you're not a cult, then why go to such great lengths to keep this... So you admit you're not allowed to leave? Threatening me is not going to help you, but in any... That sounds an awful lot, and I saw the inscription saying, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." I take it this is some kind of mantra you... a distinction without a difference. You've clearly been indoctrinated. Now tell me, where did you lot get enough gold to make... You lot are practicing human sacrifice too.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Of course you'd say that, but that's what your kind do, isn't it? Our God told us to do it. It's all clear to me now. The secret sanctuary, the indoctrination, the mantra, the human sacrifice. Your cult. What baffles me is how a person can believe in something with such as... Do you have any last words? Well, I'd say that's rather convenient, since I'm... Son of this.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Oh, Bacchus, how much... Oh, and... Just attach the pulley to the rope over the lake and hang on. And if it doesn't work, Worst thing that can happen is you'll take a swim in the lake. But don't worry. All right.